Good evening. Welcome to Coffee with the Dead. As always, I am ParaAnne, and tonight we are doing a Spooktacular Father's Day. I have my dad, his name is Joe, on the line, calling in shortly. So, what is it like having a daughter in the paranormal? Well, as far as having been a daughter in the paranormal, I got very lucky. I grew up with parents who were super supportive. Super supportive. For my 16th birthday, they got me my first bit of ghost hunting stuff. Like a little mini kit. And we went to the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast in Ocean City, New Jersey. And then later that year for Christmas, they took me to the Cashtown Inn in Gettysburg. And both places were surprisingly very spooky. We got... Okay, very good. I'm getting little error messages and wondering what's going on, but apparently everything's just fine. Yeah. So we will bring my daddy in here in a little bit. To get us started, though, I want to welcome our first 3 Patreons. Yay! We got Chris Geyser. Actually, he was interviewed last week for doing the horror-related video games and movies discussion. And then we have Lisa Rambo, and she will be our guest on July 5th. She is a channeler and has connections, so to speak, with the spirit folk. It'll also be a full moon with an eclipse. So Lisa will be with us to do, she wants to do a channeling session. So, mark your calendars, July 5th. Get your questions ready. You can email her or find her on Facebook in advance, or just send me what it is you would like to ask her, and there you go. The number for tonight is 443-267-8217 if you'd like to call in with any questions. Also, our 3rd Patreon, Haven Van Houston. Thank you so much. Those 3 have joined on the shadow tier. They will have special access to the video of Point Lookout Lighthouse, where I have gone on Friday. We stopped there. It is the oldest lighthouse that is currently still standing, and it also has a ton of ghost stories all about it. Of course, that whole state park area there is super spooky, but that is just for the shadow tier folk. So, if you would like to see that video, of course, sign up, go to patreon.com/CWTD and sign up. You just have to sign up with the shadow tier. I think that's a $5 a month contribution. And that's all it takes to get you special access and some other little goodies that I might be throwing in there. Welcome everybody in chat. I see you in there. And we are almost ready, I think my dad is here. Indeed. So, I'm bringing him in now. Again, if you have questions and stuff you'd like to ask him, other fathers out there who are watching, feel free to call in or use the chat again. And I'll be monitoring that, so. Alrighty. Hey, Dad.
Hi there. How you doing?
Hey, doing okay. So, happy virtual Father's Day.
Well, thanks. It's to see you, even though you're just on the TV.
On the TV.
Yeah, on the big TV.
Yeah, you have me streaming on the TV at home. All right,
I'm
so,
not hearing.
huh?
I wasn't hearing you there for a second. Now I hear you.
Oh, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I was just telling everyone that you guys have basically enabled me to start my paranormal group back when I was a kid, even by getting me the first bit of equipment and all. So, I mean, tell us that story. I mean, I did. Did I directly ask? I don't remember. Did I actually ask you for all the equipment, or did you guys just know that that's what I wanted?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have. Yeah, I wouldn't have known what you wanted. So you always had an interest in this, and once you got a little bit older, where you really wanted to find out more about it and realized that you needed some equipment, then you came to us and you said you told us about a couple of things that you wanted. So we always, whenever you needed anything, we always tried to make sure you had what you needed and go down any road you wanted to go to explore and find new things. So we didn't think it was dangerous. So we went
Yeah.
ahead and got you what you needed.
How did you know what I needed though? Did I make you a list? Because I know I wrote letters to Santa, like in air quotes here, Santa, for longer than I think most kids did.
I remember your Christmas list, and they would usually be 3 or 4 pages long. So,
Yeah,
so
right. But did I put the equipment on there, or did you guys just know what I wanted? Like what?
no, we wouldn't have known. So,
I
being I
must have
had
written
no,
it down. I must have asked Santa for like an EMF meter, and I know you got me the
yeah,
𝕬𝕦𝕚𝕚 Sony video camera. So I
yeah.
had I had that, which was like the most exciting piece of equipment I think because it was completely night vision, zero lux, and I didn't need any ambient light in order to film. And we
Yeah,
used that when we went to the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast, right?
right, right. So yeah, so I had no background in it, so I wouldn't have known what to get you unless you told us, what you needed. So yeah, so I followed the list. We got you a couple of things every year off of it. And over time, I think you built a pretty nice collection of devices to find those ghosts.
Yeah. So, what did you think when you started seeing me like asking for like basically like electrician's tools, like an EMF meter and the digital thermometer and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we looked into it a little bit, and by then they had the internet, and so we were able to
Well,
look around
barely,
online.
right? Well, we were still on dial-up back then, almost.
It was 20 years ago, so yeah, it was a while back. So we looked into it and saw that yeah, you needed this and that, and you knew what you need from doing your research. You figured out that you needed these tools to help you identify these phenomenon. So yeah, I was in, and I didn't believe in it at the time, but I didn't disbelieve either. I had an open mind as to what you might or might not find.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't say anything to me after I, wrote the letter to air quote Santa. So, were you kind of like talking amongst yourselves, like, what is this stuff that our daughter is asking for? Like,
I talk all the time, and you see, I didn't want you to get anything that might hurt you.
right.
But looked at it and did some little research about it and saw that it was just a curiosity of yours, and we were interested also to see where it might lead. Yeah.
Yeah, because this was before Ghost Hunters aired. This was before there were really any ghost hunting show, right? They had
Yeah, there's none of that.
yeah, they had like the, uh, what was the one show? Oh, I can't remember the name of it right now. Where they would the lady had like this really weird voice, like she was really over dramatically trying to sound spooky, and she would talk
Mhm.
about ghost stories. They had shows like that though, where people would narrate like historic legends and stuff. Like after I think like after Unsolved Mysteries came on, that kind of like started like opened the doorway for some of the paranormal stuff, but there still was not any. We didn't see people doing investigations. It was more just like, oh, this house is haunted and trying to get people to go visit it, kind of a show.
Yeah, exactly. There was no shows like dedicated to finding ghosts.
Yeah. So what did you think I was going to do with this equipment then? I mean, nobody really talked about doing investigations and things in like 1998.
No, but I didn't really know what you're going to do with it or how you used it. I just knew that you would research and figure it out, and whatever use you had for it, I thought you'd figure it out, because I couldn't be much help, and I didn't support you on a day-to-day basis, but it supported you by having so you had some tools available to you, so you could do what you needed to do. Over the years, some things that we're going to talk about, I think, eventually came to realize that these things really are out there, and I came to believe, like you do, that the dead aren't dead.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but you didn't. So, we never really talked about it then. So, like, were you more of a skeptic, or did like paranormal stuff never really cross your mind before I started talking about wanting all these little gadgets and things?
Well, you think about it, like, you wonder, what happens to you after you die, and so I don't really know, but I do know now that some of the people that are dead are still around with us somehow. So
right.
So it's interesting to find out more about it.
So, like, growing up and stuff, like, now thinking back, did you ever have some strange things happen that maybe at the time didn't really cross your mind as being strange, but now that you know that sometimes the dead just don't sleep, you're like, oh, well, maybe that could have been something?
No, I've never really had anything like that occur to me, except when in a couple places that we traveled to together, we had some interesting experiences.
So all thanks to me. It's all my fault.
Yeah. You can say that.
So we went. Where'd we go? When you got me the first time when you guys got me the little kit, that was for my birthday, right?
Yeah, it was for it was.
Oh, hi Charlotte. Welcome to chat.
First thing we did together, we went to, your mom saw something on TV. This is after you expressed an interest in everything. And she saw a spot on Good Morning America for the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast place in New Jersey. And so your mom called the owners and had a nice chat with them. And they, mom told them how you had an interest in paranormal. So we booked a room for 2 nights, and the owners, unbeknownst to us, they contacted the managers or the founders of the Lower New Jersey Paranormal Society. So while we were there, the manager of the hotel introduced us to this lady who was running the Paranormal Society.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was a surprise to us too. We didn't know that was happening.
Oh, I thought you guys set all that up. You didn't know about that?
No, that was totally on the owner of the hotel did that.
Oh, wow.
The B&B.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So this was Christmas then. That wasn't my birthday.
That was Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So then the second night we stayed, once she made herself known when she was there, then she took you around and did an investigation, and then you had your tape recorder, and you played the tapes of the voices that you got. And she said, and she had previously done her own investigation, and she said that she recognized some of those voices, and they were some of the same voices that she had gotten.
Oh, I know, because I got my first EVP there, and then I ended up getting a couple actual EVPs that weekend, but the one that she recognized there was somebody's name. A woman's voice said the name Giselle.
Okay.
And she said that's a name that she gets often when she does recordings.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, do you remember when we went into, I know all the rooms were named after really cute stuff. Like one room was the chocolate room that had the bunk beds.
Remember that? Yep.
And then the room next to that in the corner, I don't remember the name of that room, but that's where I got the first EVP.
Okay.
Do you remember that room? With like the little sitting room that had a small table like in like a bay window kind of cut out?
I remember that. Yeah, they had all the rooms were so well decorated, and they had those interesting names like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember the name. What would you say, Victoria? That she got? I remember she knew the same name. She got the same name that you had.
Yeah, Giselle was the name that we got, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte says, how old were you? So I was 15 because for my 16th birthday we went to Gettysburg. Was that the order? Do you remember? Is that right, Dad?
Yes, that's right. We went to the Cashtown Inn.
Yes, but that was for my 16th birthday or 17th?
I think it was 16th.
16th. So Charlotte, at the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast for Christmas, I was 15. And that's what motivated me actually to start Spirits Wake, which is the investigation end of all this. So it's like there's Spirits Wake and then there's Coffee with the Dead, which is the show, obviously. So we got both things going. But Coffee with the Dead only started in 2013. But I've been doing Spirits Wake since 98. Yeah. So, yeah, so Dad, that room, that corner room, when we were in there, do you remember what it was like? Did nothing? I don't think anything happened when we were in the room, did it?
You're right. It's just on the tape when you played back later that you could hear the voice. But on that same trip, if you remember that your mom, she was in the bathroom and she didn't lock the door, but she closed the door, of course. But then she got locked in the bathroom. So that was a little mysterious, you know. I mean, you can't say what really happened there, but that's unusual for the door to get jammed like that.
Especially when the lock is on the inside of the door.
Yeah. So that was weird.
Right.
And then we both noticed that when we were in the bed, because it was a king-size bed that we were both in together, we noticed that there was a really, really like ice-cold spot in the middle of the bed. Like it was unnatural how cold it was. It wasn't like because of the air conditioner or anything, because the room was a regular temperature.
It was winter time. The heat would have been on.
Yeah, but in the bed, it was like a bag of ice was sitting there in the bed.
Yeah.
It was so cold. So that was...
You both felt that?
Yes.
I didn't know Ma felt that too. I knew you did. And then you got that's when you got someone touched your back, right?
No, that was in the Cashtown Inn.
Okay. So we'll get there in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that room that we had at the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast was super nice.
That was really nice, yeah.
Yeah. It was like the attic room, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think you asked for the most haunted room, and they hooked you up.
Yeah. In that same room again where we got the EVP when we left, you remember when we were walking up the hallway and we were walking to the room next door to it, which is the chocolate room, the bedroom door? Do you remember that? It opened and closed, and then it opened again just a crack?
Yep.
And then at the same time, well, like right after that, we heard it was sounding like a toy. It sounded like a child's toy, like the battery dying, like it was winding down. It was like doo-doo-doo-doo. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Because we went downstairs looking for the sound. Because the owners had kids, and we thought they left a toy down there, but they have a house not even attached to the inn behind it.
Yeah.
And nobody had been there.
Strange. I can't say I remember that.
You don't remember that part? That was right before we went into the chocolate room.
No.
No. Well, anyway. Well, anyway, yeah. So, what was it like when someone touched you? Like you felt like Like
Well,
was that like your
that's
first paranormal experience?
well, that was the first time. I mean, like I say, you got those things on tape and you played the tapes back, and you could definitely hear the voices in the tapes. They're what, the EVPs.
What'd you
So
think when I played back the tape and there were obviously people talking that weren't us?
well, that's the first time I really realized there's other people out there besides the living people.
Like,
Because
did it scare you, or were you just like, oh, okay, I guess my daughter knows what she's talking about?
Yeah, that was mostly it because I wasn't really scared because I didn't think they could hurt us. But there's this it's almost like people talk about UFOs and nobody can decide if there's UFOs or not. There's not really proof.
Right.
But with the EVPs, I mean that's proof. I mean, there's nobody else around. There's just the answers they gave would be typical of someone who's not really here, and the voices could not have come from anything else, generated by anything else other than some spirit. I can't imagine what else it could be.
So that was it.
So that was,
On
yeah, pretty much.
After the Christmas weekend, now you are a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that worked.
They count me in, I guess.
Charlotte says, you and your dad are so cute together.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we did just spend 3 days together, too. We went on a little road trip, too, so... Yeah, it's okay. I actually have family that I enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a nice thing.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I remember even when I was 14 and I got a Ouija board for my birthday. For my birthday. You guys were okay with it. I mean, I think Ma was like, well, as long as I don't see it. And I mean, you guys didn't want to use it with me, but you were okay with me having one.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to hide it. Like I all the books that I bought, and well, you guys bought me the books from like Barnes and Noble and stuff, but like you guys, I didn't have to hide that side of me, and I think a lot of kids, a lot of now adults grew up having to hide that kind of weird spooky side of themselves from their parents.
Yeah, I could see where some parents would have some consternation regarding their sons or daughters' activities if they want Ouija boards and recorders and all sorts of things to detect ghosts. Creates just some unknown out there, so you don't know what's going on. But we always wanted you to be able to find out what there is out there and be able to help as much as we could. So there you are, and now you're famous.
Now look at me. I have my own YouTube show. Yeah, and here you are on the show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how about that?
Just be sure and send me the royalty checks from these videos. So that's what I'm.
Yeah, well, right now I'm making about no royalties myself.
Yeah.
But if I do, huh?
Yeah, a friend of mine was in a movie once. He just did like a voice. He was like a PA announcer.
Yeah.
And it was like 20 years ago, but every month he still gets checks, but he gets checks are like for 14 cents and 18 cents.
Oh, jeez.
Sure. Every time they play the movie, they owe him like 4 cents or something.
So, do they just wait until it accumulates to a reasonable amount, or do they just send individual checks?
No, he's gotten checks for like 8 cents and 9 cents. So. So they
wow.
don't accumulate. Yeah.
That's funny. That's a nice reminder of a thing you did once upon a time, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But a couple cents. I see Charlotte is saying, she says, I'm up for being adopted. My mom always opened the Bible and prayed for me. Your parents rock. So that's kind of what I was saying, how like I'm pretty lucky to have grown up with parents who didn't mind that I was doing some weird stuff.
We'll put her on the list of future adoptees.
Yeah. Do you hear that, Charlotte? You're on the future adoption list. And Tommy Wazoo in chat is actually Evan, once again being a troll. You know, nobody can read your Japanese writing. So if you could just, like, maybe take this the least bit seriously, I'd appreciate it a bunch. Charlotte says, my mom scared even my imaginary friend away. Oh, that
funny.
sucks. Like, so what happened, Charlotte? Did she know that you had an imaginary friend and she just said, hey, leave my daughter alone kind of thing? Like, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had a whole crew of people that I talked to. I would watch movies, and then the people in the movies would be my new imaginary friends for the next week until I saw a new movie.
Well, it's good to have friends, right?
Huh?
It's good to have friends.
It's good to have friends, real or imaginary, right? They're still there.
Yeah.
So that was the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast. And I have the EVP, that very first EVP that we got. Could you ever figure out what it said? It was like this I remember it was a lady's voice and it was like singing, and it's like, it goes like, do-do-do-do-do. And like we were going back and forth on what it said. Do you remember that? You remember trying to figure it out?
I couldn't figure it out, but I've never been able to really hear the voices. Sometimes they're more clear than others. But sometimes, like I know it's there and I know it's a noise, but then you can hear it and understand it. And then once you tell me what they say, then I say, oh, yep, that's what you say.
That's how it works, right? It's like a placebo effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could be walking in a room with someone and just say, oh, I think I saw a shadow out of the corner of my eye. And the friend's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I did too. And then all of a sudden the place is haunted.
Yep.
But, I mean, I think with us at that spot, though, it was not the placebo effect. It was more like, well, that door really did just open and close itself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So you just check yourself, and when two people say it, you're like, yep, that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the MP3 of that EVP. So if anyone is interested in hearing it, just send me a message. Let me know. I will send it to you. I think I put it on like SoundCloud. I just made up the name. I just made up a fake band that is called Spirits Wake. And that's our first single release is the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast EVP. Yeah, okay, now Evan is being his normal self, and he says, yeah, it's called the pareidolia effect. I don't think I said it properly, but yeah, that is what it's called.
That's the word I was looking for, yeah.
Yeah, Evan knows all the fancy words.
Evan was the smartest guy in the room, right?
Yeah, who knew? So for my birthday then, I already had a small bit of equipment from Christmas, and we worked with the lady of the South Jersey Paranormal Research Society. I already had that under our belts, so then I was ready to go at it solo, right? So how did it come up for my birthday to go to the Gettysburg Inn? Because that was another surprise. Like, Ma was so good with her presents because she made this letter up to look like the inn actually wrote me a letter inviting me. But really, you guys had just written the letter.
That part of the story, but that is something she would do, definitely.
Yeah, she always gets really creative with the presentation.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You're talking about the Cashtown Inn, right?
Yeah, I think I keep calling it the Gettysburg Inn, but yeah, it was the Cashtown Inn.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is I remember this a lot more distinctly because I actually had an experience there with the spirit, and many people believe that this is the most haunted bed and breakfast in the whole United States. So Mom found out about it, and she set it all up, and like I say, she had that letter written. I guess that's something she would do.
Yeah, totally.
And I looked at their website a little bit, and they actively promote that place is haunted. There's a lot of places they don't want it out there, but place on, but they have pictures of ghosts on there, and they say, yeah, the place is definitely haunted. So I guess it draws more people in than scares people away nowadays. So it's known for that. But the thing that happened to me while I was there is we were in bed after being out looking around all day, and I was laying down in the bed, and I could feel, like, I'm positive that there was some force that was like pulling me out of the bed. Like, did not want me to be there. I was like actually like trying to get me up out of bed. So, after that happening to me, and then hearing those voices on the tapes, the EVPs that you get, I was like, well, this is definitely for real. It was really, really, really something.
Like, what did it feel like? Was it like really cold, or did you just feel like a pressure, or like?
Yeah, just like a pressure, like on the back of my shoulders, like something was in front of me, and like pulling me by the shoulders out of the bed.
Oh wow!
It's so weird.
So what did you do? Did you just like try to go back to sleep? Did you get out of bed? Like, I don't remember this until I know the next day at dinner you told. The next day at breakfast, rather, you told us all about it, but I don't remember any reaction in the middle of the night.
No, it happened either like as we were going to sleep, or like first thing, I think as we were going to sleep. Like, you were already in the other room asleep, and it's like we were just getting ready to go to bed, and I had the strangest feeling that the force was trying to pull me out of bed and didn't want me to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So that was really, really strange.
Did it actually move you? Or
no, it didn't physically move me, but I could just feel like, somebody's hands were like right here and just trying to pull me, like gently out of bed.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if we ever got the story on our room, what it used to be used for or anything. It almost sounds like a nurse or something trying to take care of their patient, or
yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. Did we ever get the story on what the room was used for?
No, not that I remember.
I don't remember. I know the room was awesome though, because we stayed at. We had the suite, right? It was the whole attic to ourselves.
Yeah, we did.
So you and Ma had a separate room with a door that closed, and then I was on the sleeper sofa.
Yeah.
And it was a nice room. It was a very nice room. And we were only two rooms were booked. That's it. It was our room, and then there was another couple, and that was it.
Yes, and they let you look all around. They said you can look around wherever you want to go.
Right.
But yeah, I was, I'll never forget that feeling, because I didn't feel like a temperature change, like it wasn't hot or it wasn't cold. It's just like pressure on my shoulders, just trying to lift me out of bed.
Yeah, very strange. Never had that happen before. Like,
no,
yeah.
Before, right. Nope.
But it didn't wake up Ma, or like you were the only one that felt anything.
Yeah. I mean, when it happened, I told her about it right away. I said, I just felt the strangest thing.
Yeah, right? It woke you up, obviously, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how'd she react?
She says, well, she didn't feel anything, but I said, I know I felt something.
What'd she say? Oh, Joe, just go back to sleep.
No, she said, she said, Mary said something might happen, that we might have an experience.
Yeah.
And I sure did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was kind of upset, because I was like, I'm the one here doing the investigation. Why did something happen to me? I wanted it. I wanted the ghost stuff. Why'd you get it?
Yeah.
So Charlotte says yes, she wants to hear the EVP. So okay, Charlotte, send me a message so I don't forget. But I'll try to remember to. I'll send you the link probably like tomorrow or something. But just drop me a message to remind me. I'll send you the link for that on the SoundCloud. So yeah, the Cashtown Inn. No, yeah, the Cashtown Inn. Now I'm saying the right name. We didn't have too much happen though. Besides what happened in bed when we went around and did the investigation. I got some cool pictures that I thought there might have been some orbs that were more than just insects or dust. But other than that,
yeah, I don't think we saw or heard anything like we did at the other place.
Yeah.
The
somewhere in time. Yeah.
But do you remember if you got any EVPs at the Cashtown Inn?
No, I don't remember. I know that the room that was occupied when we went, though, the owners had told us that room. I don't know if it was the whole building or just that room. It was a Civil War hospital,
Okay.
and there was a couple, not the couple that was there the weekend that we were, but at a different time, who had gone to check into their room. They opened the door and they saw a hospital scene. Like
Oh, wow.
their room was not there. They opened the door like back into the Civil War, and there was a hospital scene going on. And they closed the door, and when they came back, it was just their room again a little while later. So I remember.
That's something.
So I remember some of those stories, but not. I don't. It wasn't as active of an investigation as it was at the Somewhere in Time bed and breakfast, but having that physical experience that you had is like that just takes the cake. It doesn't get better than that.
Has anything like that ever happened to you?
I mean, not while I was sleeping, but yeah, while doing investigations sometimes and stuff, I have felt like things touching my arms and like and hair and yeah, every now and then, but investigations usually are nothing like you see on TV. So to actually have an experience while investigating, then that's a place that has a lot of energy. That's a big deal usually.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really something.
Yeah.
I remember that for a long time. Excellent.
So that was 2002, right? What year was that?
So you were 16, so it'd be 2000, right?
Yeah, 2000. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. I'm not very good at numbers.
Yeah, I've noticed that about you.
Or using maps, as we learned on our trip. But so after that, then Ma got me the FLIR. That was after this.
Yeah, it was.
Right? Now, how'd that work out? Because I know I was asking for one. So, did you play a role in that, or was that all her concocting?
Well, that was a little bit of both. I mean, you told us you wanted that camera, and so we looked it up on the internet.
On the interwebs, yeah.
And we saw what the price of it was, and I said, "Whoa, that's a lot."
Well, she's not getting that. Nope.
We dismissed it out of hand.
Yeah.
So because it was just beyond our means at that time. So, but we looked into it a little further, and we saw that they had a program for educators, which made the camera more affordable. And since your mom is an educator, and it was a possibility that she could use the camera in her educational endeavors, she could apply to the FLIR manufacturers and get a substantial discount if she could demonstrate how she was going to use the camera in her educational endeavors. So she wrote a very nicely detailed paper about how she could integrate it into her classroom.
She had to write a whole essay, right?
It was definitely an essay, yes, and
yeah,
about how she could integrate it into her teachings and about physics and science. And so by doing that, with the discount, we were able to obtain the camera at a semi-reasonable price.
Yeah, barely affordable. I was so excited when I got that. I could not believe that you guys were able to pull that off. Because I would ask for stuff that I knew was like way too expensive, but I would just put it on there because I really wanted it. So I would tell air quote Santa, like, I really want this. I know I'm not getting it, but you want to know what I want, so this. Yeah, Charlotte says your mom is so smart. Yeah, she knew how to get the deal.
Yeah, that worked really well. I mean, it's nice of the company to offer a deal for educators, and it was nice we were able to take advantage of it. And she's been able to use it in the classroom, and I know you've taken advantage of it and use it in your studies. So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, totally. So, from raising me and all as a little paranormal daughter and whatnot, I mean, did you start to have or notice things a little differently, or did you kind of start to look at things that would happen to you as possibly not being explainable?
Yeah, I mean, being with you and seeing the things that you found and the investigations that you've done, it tunes you into how things could maybe things that you thought were innocuous or things you would just pass off as say, oh no, I guess it's something. You might think, yeah, I wonder if that was something or somebody that is trying to send me a message. Yeah, so you do see things in a different light once you believe that there are other things out there.
Have you, or do you think rather that it's like my fault? Do you think like because I am dabbling in this stuff, like has it like been like a magnet? Has it like drawn things like to you when I was still living with you guys, or do you just think it more so just changed your thoughts, changed your awareness?
It just sort of opened my eyes to what could be, and you have a more clear, more open mind as to things that occur in everyday life. Where if I hadn't been around you, I would have not even noticed or given it any mind. But then things happen, you're like, I wonder if that was one of Mary's things that because it could be.
You never know, right?
You never know.
But the $1 million question here is any regrets?
Well, no, I'm glad that you've been able to expand your studies through the use of the things that we've gotten you, and I know you really believe in it, and you've made a lot of friends by your research. So yeah, so no regrets, and you've opened my eyes too to see things that I wouldn't have noticed before. So yeah, I think it's been a good thing overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly not what you thought you were getting into when you found out you were having a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have any other little anecdotes you'd like to share here before we wrap up?
No, I think I'm all out of anecdotes.
Yeah.
It's been great talking to you.
Very good. All right. Well, I'm glad we were able to have a little Father's Day celebration here.
Yeah,
And we'll do more
it's
later. We're gonna get together tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Once I recover from this couple days, we went on a little family road trip. We left on Thursday and just got back last night, so I'm still recovering. But I think by tomorrow I should be able to feel like myself again.
So,
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later then, Dad. Thanks for agreeing to call in.
okay, thanks for having me on, and I'll look for the check in the mail.
That'll be about 3.2 cents.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. So that